Howdy y'all, Soulhex here. Um, been testing the 88 VXP targets and don't have that much time left on them, but I think I found a decent build for my hydras. Now, I have a lot of interesting, ideas with the Eradicator, but not tested yet. So, I've tested the hydras and that stuff before. My build for the previous siege cycle, it focused on having the siege capacitor or whatever that one called that ups your damage, but in recent times it's mainly about defense. So I've been put Aegis on all my hydras, and then I also refit it to the C1 CRs. Before I did have the 2C charged armors and 2R charged armors, and they got wrecked completely. So I did also have 3 of the siege capacitor ones, and then only 2 Aegis, and still got wrecked in the 88 BXP targets. But with driving and trying to figure out these targets, I found a pretty easy way. I think the last time I did it, I got around 31 minutes, a little bit more than that, damage on a whole 88 target. So let's take this out. I do have the the creeping death crew out on it, so that can do a lot more damage. That's the only crew I've actually really done. That one's taken. So let's go find a fresh one. But go east this time. Always change fleets whenever you go through the relay tower. But I like these targets because you don't have to have a countermeasure ship. There's a lot of confusion because before we did need one, either a countermeasure ship or at least one countermeasure on each hull or something like that. Whereas this one you don't need a countermeasure, and I like it. You could boost your attack power, full attack power. Now, sadly, I didn't have enough Hydra tokens to outfit my full fleet, so 2 of my ships aren't fully refitted. As you can see, one of them has some the countermeasures. I didn't finish the countermeasures, so I just did specials to keep it with it, my ships. So let's see if this one's fully fit. It's a little bit damaged, but looks like yeah, it looks like the turrets are still good, but it's a little bit damaged, like it's gotten picked clean, but that's not a problem. And all the turrets are full and fit, so that'll be good. One of my hydras is slower because it doesn't have the special on it, but other than that, we'll get to it. Alright, so that was, the whole 88. 34 minutes repair. That's actually really good. With probably better driving, I could probably get that a lot less. But I want to hit another one and kind of focus on what I have seen in this target. So let's go ahead another one. And what I've actually experienced, using the, hitting these targets and ranking and that stuff. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on with this. Okay, so first off, there's a lot of different targets. There's these, kind of ballista types, that only point in one direction. From what I hear, these can actually go in different directions. I haven't seen it per se, like move the attack range or something like that, but they can. These are the launchers, and let me get this. So these are the launchers, and they do a splash damage, and they don't follow your fleet. They will just kind of go into where you're at. So they're dumbfire, but they do have splash. So you could outmaneuver them, if you're fast enough. These guys right here, they are short range and they continuously fire at you. They do pretty moderate damage, but you can outrange them, and they're pretty easy to kill. Now, these I really don't have that much knowledge about them, how much damage they do, but as you can see from the weapon range, you can easily defeat them by going out of their weapon range. So the kicker is these javelins. Those javelins are long range. You can't outrange them. You can't outrun them. They will fire at you. But I learned, and whenever I was ranking my eradicators and my dreadnoughts, that they are priority targeting. So they will fire and hit the lowest armor point ship you have. So if you tank with, say, the Blood Hydra, the Blood Hydra has a lot of armor points, and they will it will not hit the Blood Hydra, it will hit the other ships. So that's one thing that you have to look out for. Now also, these flame turrets, I think I outranged them a couple times at my max range hydras. That's the one with the siege capacitor, and it has more damage and more radioactive range, but it's really tough. So I think the range on this sucker is 104-ish, but with my hydras, they can't outrange them right now. So that's a problem there. So what I do is I tank with my Blood Hydra, because the Blood Hydra has, see, that was a javelin. Okay, see, I'll show you the so it's attacking my Blood Hydra right now, and let's test it out, see if it works. And boom, priority targeting on my number 2 ship. It said no to my Blood Hydra and went to number 2. So that's a priority targeting right there, first degree. So these flame turrets, I've noticed that they have splash, but they do have a long reload time. So I would tank with the Blood Hydra. Doesn't do that much damage to Blood Hydra that I saw, and wait until the reload is done, like until the salvo is done, and come up with your other ships and attack it. Or if your ships are all the same speed, mine aren't, but if you have the same speed, then you kind of can creep up with the other ships. But it does have splash, and if you are too close to your Blood Hydra and you're tanking it, it will do damage to your other ships. So just to be safe, I would just, you know, tank it with bullet hydra and have your other ships kind of far back, from what I've seen. Now, I haven't really tested it out with any other my buccaneers, but I already can tell with the, you know, my dreadnoughts. I tried, you know, hitting this target and seeing how it goes. The ballistics, if you use ballistics in this target, is going to be very annoying and very difficult because you can't go past the mountains. These mountains are going to be really annoying. But with the hydras, you can shoot over the mountains, and that's what I like about hydras. And I'm pretty sure the next, you know, hole and the raid will be the specialty where you can shoot over the mountains. I forgot what it was called, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be, there's going to be that whole can. So that's a problem. Let me see. Looking. And then apparently these buildings right here hurt this, you know, the sub that's going to be the next hole for this thing, or it's going to hurt the next hole, whether it's a sub or not. I completely don't remember. But let's go ahead and do this real quick. So you can outmaneuver that guy. And so see, they are no problem there. But you will get hit by the javelin if you just sit here and tank it, and it will hit your lowest health one. So number 2 is getting pelted pretty bad, which I don't like how it has priority targeting, but I guess I could understand. So since you're not in the attack range, you can go in and target the javelin because the javelin's pelting me. And then I'll see what these guys do real quick, just for the sake of knowing what they can do or not. I don't know. Well, when I get this sucker done. Okay, and so he is right here. Okay, so this guy has a long range. I don't think it's a splash. So let's see if it is priority targeting. I don't think it's priority targeting. No. This one doesn't have priority targeting, but that son of a bitch does. This javelin does. So the ballista doesn't. The javelin does have priority targeting. And it has a longer reload than the ballista. So that's not too half bad. But that's easy to outmaneuver because it's it does have a long range. How long is that range though? That's pretty good range. So it will fire at you when you go into it, but moderate reload. See, that was going to fire at me too. I'll make a. I'll show you how I would tank it. The flame. See. Right there is the flame, and I'm still in the range of my. I was still in the range of the circle, and you could kill it pretty fast if you, even with my blood hydras, that kill it pretty fast. So. Yeah, see that one, it hit and got splash damage. So it's not too kind of easy to if you pick it up and know what to do with these turrets, you can do these targets easier, pretty easy. Now here you won't. Oh, so here you won't be able to target this turret because of the mountains. If you had ballistics, you'd have to go around and have all that problem. See, that's actually a pretty good spot right there. See, that flame got me. This is a kind of iffy spot right here. I'm tanking with my blood hydra for these. I'm going to take a lot more damage because I'm figuring this out to, you know, target out, showing what the target can do. So tank with my blood hydra, and then once it stops firing, go in and sweep it in with my other ships. That's basically it right there. Ah, timed out. Well, damn. Well, might as well finish it. Ooh, 625, not bad. But I've yet to try it with the other crews that can help. Steelheads could do some pretty good, you know, help with it. I didn't even do these two. But steelheads can help because it's, you know, more defense for your ship. But I saw how much damage these suckers can tank, and it takes a lot of, you know, salvos just to kill this thing. And mine's pretty based on the damage, so although it does have minus 20% damage because I do have the Aegis on it, so that's a problem in a way. But it's not a bad thing to have defense on your hull because Kixeye is trying to make it so that you have to have max, you know, defense percentage. And I think that's the whole target right there. All in all, I do like the ideas of the walls, not the walls, the mountains. The mountain's pretty cool. It just kind of sucks in the sense of having, oh hell, go home by relay tower. It sucks for ballistics, and I don't like the special ability of the Eradicator, the frenzy. The bloodthirst is good that it gets, but the decay that has 7 seconds and it decays 1 level is complete and utter bull. I don't like that idea. But if anything, if the 88 VXP target is anything like the raid, it is possible, if you do not like ballistics, it's possible to maybe do the target with hydras. You'll take more damage most likely, but you could probably do with driving and that stuff. You could do your lower end targets. But this is my build. I've realized something that I have to look more into. I did the launcher system and multiplex charge doubler. I also noticed that it says max shockwave damage is 40%, max shockwave damage is 30%. Not sure if, I highly doubt they stack, so that's a max shockwave of only 40 or 30. I'm thinking I'm only getting a max shockwave of 30, so I might have to take that off. But I do like the radioactive damage 40%, so it depends on what you want. If you want that shockwave 17,000, you could, you know, do more shockwave damage, or if you just want the damage from the salvo, the 2,800. So that's probably something wrong that I did building it. I'm guessing it is, but you know, it's up in the air. But this is my build. I did velocity rounds because I do like the projectile speed. I've I've seen it without projectile speed, and it just annoys me. I don't like how slow it is. It also does building damage and wall damage. Ballistic is, ballistic damage is kind of out the window. So, if you really want to add the bonus, I would probably say, let's kind of look it up. Let's say this is a Hydra demo or whatever. Okay. Where's launchers? Okay, so I have the optimizer D117S. This is in the FM on Prize Pack 5. I would suggest doing, if you can fit them all of them. Instead of the charged armors R and C, do the C1CR. This is in Prize Pack 4 in the FM, and it gives you 18% ballistic and radioactive defense. And this is actually what I'm going to put on my eradicators, is this whole armor, because these are limited, the D6C and D6R, and I've looked at it, and even if you have 2 D6Rs and 2 D6 Cs, you still get the same defense percentage as if you have just 4 of these CRs on there. Okay. Now for the CIC, I did have the capacitor CIC on. Gives you more damage, more range, but you get the negative defense, and in that sense the negative defense isn't good now, because you need as much defense as you can get. So I did the Aegis, and I was thinking of doing the Mercy on the Blood Hydra, which a lot of people already did in the beginning. So if you have the Mercy on the Blood Hydra, it might be good to heal yours. But if why not just keep the Aegis on your Blood Hydra and tank with the Blood Hydra? So you could do that, and because of the Javelin is priority targeting, if you want to use the Aegis, not the Aegis, the Mercy to heal your other ships, you could do that, because those will get pelted by the Javelins, no matter even if you tank with your Blood Hydra or not. Personally, I'm going with the Aegis CIC for maximum defense, because the tactical module, it gives you 15% ballistic defense and 20% radioactive defense, with a duplicate aura cap of 5. So you get that times 5. So if you have all of them, you get more and more and more, which is good. Now, I did do for the specials. Let's go. I always like to put engines there. I don't know why I'm weird. I did ballistic resistors, and then let's look. Always the CL3 with siege battery. And before, I always liked the Fletchet feeder, because it does have supercharge and radioactive reload, and I think I liked it. I don't know why, it just felt good. But in this sense, the launcher system, if you want the shockwave damage and that stuff, that would be the best bet. And then there's where is the other one? It's always up here. And there's this one where there's more radioactive damage. So this is in the TLC if you want to use this one. And then keep on losing their stuff. And then launcher system is in the FM. If you want to use this one, I believe it's Prize Pack 5 that's in the FM. So I'll go with this one. Do note that it does have a max damage, shockwave damage. So if you combine them, I'm pretty sure you'll only get the 30% max shockwave damage. So you won't get 40% shockwave damage, you only get 30% shockwave damage. That is my guess, and I would presume that's right. Now, I do like, the high velocity rounds, but if you want to boost it up, we can boost it even more, because these targets do have a lot of, building, health or defenses. Let's do 165% wall damage, wall and building damage. That will be tearing it down. 165 is a lot better than 80. So, I actually might change it to that, although I do like the projectile speed of the high velocity rounds. And I could probably, take off the duplicator and have something that increases projectile speed of some sort. But yeah, see, you could even put this on. You'll get more radioactive damage and multi-shot, but you'll have the shockwave damage max at 30% instead of 40. So that's always a thing right there. Radioactive damage 31% and 50% splash. It's okay. I do like the projectile speed though. But currently I do have this and HVR on it. So that's my build. If you want more radioactive, more building damage, then I would suggest, and if it helps out more, Siege Targeting 4 would be better to use, because you get a lot more building damage. Now, I'm not entirely too sure which is better, the shockwave damage or the just the initial damage. I'm pretty sure it'll be the shockwave damage, because since these targets do have a lot of health, you can do a lot more shockwaves on it. So I would suggest probably going with only the launcher system, and then if you take this off, you could probably get something with projectile speed, which I like. Let's see if there's one. Explosive system, it's not bad. It does pretty good splash. I wonder, or this one. This has projectile speed and splash, and I'm pretty sure. Does it have splash? I don't see any splash. But yeah, so let's go with. There's a last raid we used Tactical Insulator or something like that to kind of deal with the fields, fire fields and whatnot, and it doesn't seem like this raid cycle will need that, so that's a good thing. I did hate the the fields on that. That would be good if our next hull is a sub. That will help it. I'm not sure if it has a rise time or not, but that would be good. If you're worried about your speed, which I highly doubt it, you can always do a speed upgrade. But also we need to see if this can fit. Okay, so that's 43% projectile speed and 2 splash. Let's go with the more projectile speed. Not as good as 100, but it'll be it's decent. If you want more multi-shot, that can help too, but it also gives you more combat speed. But you won't get any scattergun reload or corrosive damage. That would be pointless right there. And then if if you're just only looking for multi-shot, then do barrel system, but I wouldn't do that. Evade, I don't see a need for evade because these are actually pretty dead on. Looks like they're 100% hit projectiles, other than the dumbfire projectiles, such as the flame turret and the launcher turret. the javelins and the ballistas, they are 100% accuracy, and I believe they will stay like that. So yeah, so I'll probably stick with this build. Whenever I get the chance, I'll probably do this one because of splash damage. Not the splash, the shockwave damage will probably be a lot better to do than just the regular salvo damage. So I'll leave that out there for a second. I'll also will share the code for this build, and as well as my other build, if you want that, build with the HVR. So I'll do that for y'all, and hopefully this helps y'all out. I'm glad I tested this because I did like the hydras. I did like the mechanics of the hydras, and this will help a lot of people who struggle with the mountain system, because those mountains can be really hard to kind of grasp, and I don't like them at all. Hell is like that. So other than that, thanks for watching, pirates, and until next time.